Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Knightfall Nightwing, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. And truth be told, to my understanding, if I remember correctly, my recollections are accurate, this is the first Nightwing figure I've reviewed from the DC Multiverse line, brought to us from said fine folks over at McFarlane Toys. That's not in a multi-pack. I did a review of the new 52 Nightwing that came with Red Hood a long time ago. In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey, in fact. To quote, was that Beck who wrote that crazy, silly song? 90s were a fun time, man. Wish I was there. Came at the tail end of it. Don't really remember most of it. Probably a good thing. But other than that, I do have the Nightwing from the Beast Boy Collect-A-Build wave. Haven't reviewed that yet. And I do have the first Nightwing that McFarlane Toys ever did. I think I might have filmed a review for that, but I never posted it. I never edited it for some reason. So this is the first one we're looking at that is all by himself. And I gotta tell you, I like this figure, despite the fact there's a bit of controversy going around it. The questionable paint apps, the trickiness of obtaining him, because this guy was sold out on Big Bad Toy Store, sold out relatively quick on the initial pre-orders, but shout out to Amazon, good old Amazon came through, and I got this guy pretty quick. I pre-ordered him, as the time I'm recording this, a week and a half ago, because friend of the channel, T-Biz, shout out to T-Biz, for once, because usually when he shows me something's up for pre-order, it's after it's sold out. Like those god darn Masters of WWE figures, the Andre the Giant, Bret Hitman Hart, Sergeant Slaughter. Who like to gotten those? Dirty scalper punks. But he sent me the link to this on Amazon, and got on a call with me later that day and was like, hey, did you see that figure was available on Amazon? I was like, no, I did not. So I had Mr. Brian, aka my dad, aka the old man, order it immediately because I missed out on Knightfall Catwoman. I'm still a bit, well, lack of a better term, butthurt about that. It's no fun. My butt hurts because of that. Not in the way you think, comment section. But I do have Knightfall Batman. And, again, thanks to T-Biz, the Knightfall Azrael Batman. So, yeah, I'm kind of on a mission to complete this Knightfall set. I hope we get a Bane. Because for those of you who were born like yesterday, the Bane we have is not accurate to the source material of Knightfall. It's just a generic Bane, kind of like that Mr. Freeze that I looked at, last week? So, with that being said, let's go right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review now that story time's over. And take a look-see at Nightwing's accessories. He's got a few useful ones anyways. Starting off with a pair of fisticuffs, which is nice. And I have to tell you, I like the color on this guy. The blue on the gloves and boots really pops. I like the yellow, so long as it's clean. I haven't noticed any nicks on mine, but if anyone does, pipe up in the comments, and maybe when he's up to it, I can have the old man touch up the paint there. You do get a pair of grip hands, too. One of them's got a trigger finger, but you could probably easily heat this up with a hairdryer, warp that finger, and just make it a grip hand like this one. That said, I'm not 100% sure if this Nightwing uses the billy clubs or the baton or not. I know most Nightwings do, but this one is a bit foreign to me because I'm used to Tim Drake, which, did I miss that too? Son of a bitch. I'm used to Tim Drake hanging around Batman at this time, not so much Nightwing. And the Nightwing I know that's got like the blue and yellow, I think has a little bit of white too. And it's just super, like, it looks more 70s looking. I'm surprised they haven't made a Nightwing with the Dead Man torso yet with that big popped collar. That said, we do have a collectible trading card with some artwork of Nightwing, kind of blacked out there. There is a bio on the back, and unlike the Hush Batman we looked at yesterday, I'm actually going to whip out the reader and see if it will cooperate with us.
Nightwing TM, Batman, Knightfall TM, data file, despite facing much tragedy in his life. Multiverse.
And there you go. Doesn't mention the fact that his parents got killed. That said, question. Deadman was an acrobat as well. Also, Moided. Was he an acrobat in the same circus that the Flying Graysons were in? I'm very curious. Because that would have a lot to do with the fact that Nightwing becomes Deadwing in the Injustice movie that you can watch on HBO Max. Highly recommend it. It's pretty badass. So, popping him off the trademark hockey puck display stand. We used to see him at all McFarlane Toys releases. On him, I have a open hand, which kind of looks like the Red Tornado hand. Wish we got two of those. I only got one. And then we also got a hand with a disc in it, which I'm not familiar with this. I did not know he had throwing discs. I guess the paint could be a little cleaner, maybe. I don't know how mine is. I can't really tell myself, but I don't mind that being molded in there, because God forbid I try to get that to stay in there. Please give us Batarang hands like this. I don't care if it's a solid black piece, like the hand in the Batarang. I don't care. If I don't got a futz with the Batarang trying to get it into Batman's hand, you know what? Less work for me. I would have even taken this disc in black. I didn't, or like all blue, you know? It looks like his hands are blue. Am I tripping? Are his hands blue? They look blue. So there's a better look at the head sculpt and the torso there. Again, I didn't notice anything egregiously wrong with mine's paint apps, but I could be wrong. That said, if you want to talk about egregious paint apps, freaking Hasbro, or in this case Hasbro, took how many years to paint a Venom symbol straight? Especially on the back where you couldn't see it in the store? Yeah, that's what I thought. But, yeah, man, I dig the figure. I like the ponytail. I think this is a cool look. But as far as articulation goes, this is the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold body. So it's very well articulated for the most part. The head is on a double ball peg. So you can look up pretty far. His ponytail's nice and soft, gets out of the way. You can look down a little bit. That's about as far as you get. Tilt side to side. I don't mind the head sculpt. I think it's okay. Shoulders go out, back and down. He does have that rotator cap. It's pretty big. I feel like they could have maybe made the shoulder a little bigger and filled it out that way, but whatever. It does rotate. He's got a bicep twist. He's got a double jointed elbow, which works pretty well. I will say the ooh. Damn! Talk about a crack there. Hopefully that's okay. Holy shit. Really good range. You don't pop yours. I feel like that was a one-time deal. Yeah, that's not loose, is it? Yeah, be careful with that. I heard of some people cracking the joints on these. I never noticed that. Knock on wood, I don't, but that is a bit of an issue, I guess. You've got the ball hinge wrists there. You do hinge. This hand is nice and tight on there. This hand is kind of loose on there, but not a holding hand. It's just a expression hand, so whatever. Popping his arms up. Torso, plenty of range. Kinda. I think the forward could have been better. The back is plenty. It's a little bit of a butter smooth joint, but it's not loose. I can find a sweet spot. Get it nice and stiff there. If I futz around with it. There you go. And he doesn't have a cape, so I'm not as worried about it here. It's usually when the figure has a cape, that's when I'm kind of with a not so tight torso joint. He does have a waist twist. And as far as I know, this is a unique belt to him. And the paint's not too bad, but yellow is difficult to paint, those of you not in the know. The hips kick out. Maybe kick forward. He does have a thigh cut. Pretty generous one, if that. He's got a double knee. Kicks all the way. I will say the body on this guy is pretty decent as far as the cuts go. I want to say the only real kind of gappy joint is up here on the lower elbow. So let me get the top one. Yeah, both elbow joints kind of whatever, but the knees thankfully are decent because you see those from the front. He does have the ball hinge ankle, which works fine. It works, but I think they need to put another notch in it. Because for me, I had to heat up this side just to kind of get it a little loose so I could have it in a neutral position. Because it doesn't really have that. It's got slightly too far forward and slightly too far back. It's a problem the McFarlane ankle joints have had since the conception of this line. So it's nothing new, but should be resolved by now, man. Like, come on. He does have a swivel in the ankle as well as a rocker. Then he does have a toe joint that works. Not too loose, but still not a fan of toe joints, man. Never gonna be. Don't try to change my mind. Not gonna happen. But there you go. That's Nightwing in a nutshell. I would say my only gripe with this figure is the lack of an extra open hand and disc hand. Because if he's supposed to throw multiple discs, it'd be nice to have multiple discs. It'd be cool to have a hand with like 3 of those sculpted in there. Because Nightwing's a cool character. I feel like he's boss like that and can throw 3 of them at once. I wouldn't put it past him. I would put it past his foot being annoying. There we go. Again, really tricky to get that lined up just right, but once you do, he stands just fine. Pain in the ass. So other than that, really, I don't have any gripes with this figure, like some people do. Zoom in a little bit here. Found some of that dead space. But, you know, it's not for everybody. I honestly prefer the more, I guess, Hush style Nightwing, where he's wearing the all-black suit with just the blue kind of bird emblem on the chest. But of all the Robins, I will say Dick Grayson was always my favorite. Good old Richard. I don't know. He just feels like a people person, you know? Relatively positive, despite the fact his parents died and he can't get laid. So, with that being said, I mean, yeah, I've seen Teen Titans before. I'm not an idiot, but has there ever been like some hardcore chemistry between him and Starfire? Like, that's canon. I know there is, but has it ever resulted into, I don't know, a kid? Because that's how you know they're doing it. Maybe that Batwoman Beyond from the Batman Beyond, what was it, Time's End? Whatever that wave with the Joker bot was. Maybe she's got Starfire powers, but we'll never know, will we? It just felt like in the animated series from the 90s, he was kind of low-key hitting on Barbara Gordon or Batgirl. So very, very curious what's Nightwing's love interest really is. Is it Batgirl? Is it Starfire? Is it somebody I don't know? I think in the Titans show it was Dove from Hawk and Dove, which is interesting, but that's another story for another day. So with that being said, let's move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Nightwing, alongside the only other characters from Batman Knightfall I currently have from McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. We got the Cape Crusader himself, Mr. Bruce Wayne to the left, and my personal favorite character from not only Knightfall, but probably the Bat family in general, Azrael. Shout out to friend of the channel, Mr. T-Biz, for the hookup on that one, because my local Walmart sucked balls when it came to that exclusive. But yeah, I'm not going to include the Bane Mega Fig in this Knightfall collection because for those of you who were born yesterday, that's not what you look like in Knightfall at all. So, shy of obtaining that elusive purple Catwoman from this subline, this is all there is until we get the Knight's End Azrael with the wings. A few months from now, actually. I think he said May on the pre-order, so very much looking forward to that. And the black and gray version of Knightfall Batman, because while this blue and gray one is going to be the one I use for my Knightfall setup, that black and gray one will be perfect for the Justice League setup I am currently working on. So very much looking forward to that. That said, is it just me or does Nightwing seem a little bit taller than Batman? That's interesting. Kind of a reversal of the kind of three Jokers, was it year 1, year 2 Hush Batman body where it's too big. This one seems a little too small. That said, at least Azrael is taller than both of them because he is in an armored suit after all. So getting them out of here. This Azrael is still kick-ass, man. I love that figure. Despite his ankles being a little bit loose. That said, this of course would not be one of my reviews without bringing out 2 regulars. With Collegiate's brother Mandibilith, right there. And the infamous Kurt 11 Spawn, who, unlike a Batman, not towering over Nightwing, but is a little taller. So I'll give him that. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from being a little tricky to obtain, and when obtained, receiving a sample with half-ass decent paint apps to say the least. I didn't notice anything on mine, but I'm sure somebody will pipe up in the comments below and let me know. Otherwise, I do really like this version of good old Dick Grayson, aka the Nightwing here, because A, I'm a big fan of Knightfall, one of my favorite Batman stories of all time, possibly my favorite Batman story of all time, because once again, it introduces us to good old Azrael. But on top of that, I'm a big fan of 90s looks for comic book characters, and this is no exception. This is super 90s, right down to the ponytail, which I don't mind personally. I know some people like Nightwing without it, and while I am more of a fan of the black and blue kind of Hush look for Nightwing, which I'm surprised we haven't got a Hush Nightwing yet, to be honest with you. I do like this. I like the extra pop of color. I like the blue gloves and boots. I like the yellow, if it's clean that is. And I even like his yellow, almost Batman-esque utility belt there. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.